You got me feeling kinda crazy. You got me feeling like my head is spinning round. The way you look is so amazing, amazing. I could stare into your eyes for hours and hours. Everything is kinda hazy. We're just dancing in the dark in the flashing lights. I know you can't hear what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna hold you closer. You take me higher when we're together. It feels like you set my whole world on fire. I know I want you, I know I need you here. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. I don't know how you do it to me, but you make me wanna fly. I'm not coming down. Maybe it's the way you move, babe, move, babe. You've got that body and that smile, make my head spin round. I'll hold you close to me. You're all I want, so stay right here with me. This feels like paradise. You take me higher when we're together. It feels like you set my whole world on fire. I know I want you, I know I need you here. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise.
Oh, hi everyone. I had a whole stack of issues this morning. Let me just see if I can undo this. My iPad died and I couldn't get it restarted. Now let me just make sure that I haven't got any timers on these because I don't want anything to go to sleep. So let me just check that before we start. So where's displays? There we go. Let me just click off that. Desktop. Yeah, there we go. Screensaver, I don't want to come on. Oh, you can only set that an hour. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, well, you can't turn it off. Oh, yes, I can. I can say don't show it. All right, that should be correct. So, yeah, sorry, I was a half an hour late, but let me just start off by opening this up because I'm going to get back to beer today because Kerry went out and bought me some. Now, we are in pre-show. Let me just see if I can bring this up so we know. Pre-show. Ooh, I've got this working again today, so hopefully the comments and everything should be fine today. Let me just come back to social. So I'm going to be drinking the James Squire. This is a local beer. Now, see, that still dips. I'm getting blackouts. I think I've got a HDMI lead problem somewhere, so sorry if it does black out like that. I wonder if I can pull it out. Let me just try it. Hang on. I'm not sure where... It might be the lead from the camera. Because it's all dropping out, which is really weird. I'm not sure why it's doing that. When you're pushing the boundary like I am, I'm also streaming in 4K, and I think that might be part of the problem. I'm not sure whether it's a YouTube thing or it's just me. I might have to pull every lead out. But this gear I've got is so complex that it's all over the place, and it's going to take a lot to solve why it's doing that. It may be the camera. If that keeps doing it, I'll see if I can pull the camera lead out. So let me just try that first. I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to disappear for a second. Let's see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, now come back and focus. Come on. Oh, it's over there now. Where are we? Now I need to change the focus point. You guys know I'm always going to have issues. Let me come back to, where are we? Up there. Down to here. Then I should be able to move it back. All right, now it should be okay, I think. Oh no, got to move a bit more. Let me try that. Oh yeah, I think I'm right. Is it? Oh, now it's really going weird. What's going on now? Oh dear. It's the A6, it's the ZV E10, but it should be fine. I don't know why it's doing that. Do I have to press? Let me try that now. Ah, okay. I'm using just spot focus, and I've put it in the center of the camera, but you've got to actually press the enter button on it to get it to actually start going. I love it. Let me just play this because I want to see the graffiti. Woohoo! $5. These Aussies and their Fosters. Well, this isn't Fosters. This is James Squire. So this is James Squire, 150 lashes. It's a pale ale. It's beautiful, actually. So cheers, everyone. Now, I'm hoping that... So thank you so much, Long Ride, for the donation. Really appreciate it, mate. So I'm hoping, now that I've pulled that lead out, it's fixed it. It could be that... This is why I hate the ZVE10. No, it's just blinked again. It might be the... I reckon it's a fake lead. It's a faulty lead. I wonder if I should go and find another one and try and plug it in. See, it's got worse. Let me pull it out at the back of the ATM and see if that fixes it up. It's in number 1. I'm going to try that. So I'm going to disappear again for a minute. If that doesn't work, I might have to change leads. All right, let me try this. Now, I've pulled every lead out. If that doesn't fix... Oh. Oh. What else could it be? So it's got to be these HDMI leads. They call it handshaking. What it is actually a... It's a handshake between this and the ATM, the camera. And I think the lead is faulty, but I can't tell which lead it is, unfortunately. Are you guys seeing the flickering as well? I love it. John said, uh-oh, here we go again. The focus is perfect as long as I take my glasses off. That's what Rob said. I love it. Oh, boy, this is going to blow me up completely here. Will I just keep going? And then if it just keeps cutting out, we just live with it? You know, the frustrating part was it was fine until it went live. So it's just weird. Well, shall I just keep going? Hit me up in the comments and let me know. Let me just go here and see what everyone's saying. Shadows said, bring it on. Richard said, greetings from Las Vegas. It appears that WPPI is going to happen the first week in March, and all the camera companies are going to be there. I plan on going. Well, that's fantastic, Richard. I'm jealous because I'm stuck down here. I wonder if I could turn off the... Oh, no, I'll keep going. Tom said, hello, David. The weekend is off to a good start for you. No, it wasn't. I invited all my Nikon and Canon friends to come celebrate Sony #1. I love it. I hope Ike shows up. He needs to be humbled. It'll be interesting to see, won't it? So how's the quality looking? Is the quality looking all right with the stream? See, it's saying the actual quality is good. So I don't think it's the stream from YouTube side. It's got to be something from my end. Aaron has just put a couple of little heads up. He's saying because I was having issues, I think. Rob said, hello, David. Are you familiar with the 7PS? No, what's that? What is 7PS? I've got no idea what that is. Jeff, 1-800 tech support, David. I take 500 Target gift cards. Rob said, proper planning prior prevents poor performance. Oh, God. You guys, you're making me feel terrible. That's it, almost ready. George said, greeting from New Jersey, always worth the wait. Thanks, George. Is it getting any better, this flicking off or not? It's showtime. Hi, David from Pennsylvania. Jeff said, Aaron said, my popcorn got cold and my ice in my soda melted. David said, hi, David. First live in a while. Aaron said, watching this intro, wow, you did some amazing work, David. Thanks so much, Aaron. John said, hello from Queens, New York City. Barry said, good morning. Aaron said, Queens in the house. Chris said, hello, David. Nice day in Los Angeles, but a good day for a Corona. Well, I'm not drinking Corona. I'm drinking the James Squire. George said, hello, David. I hope you're doing well. Sorry to hear about the iPad problems. I know, it was never done that before. It just locked and I couldn't restart it. I had to Google how to restart it properly. It was crazy. I had to do a force restart. Hurt said flashing. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it's doing that. Wow, a lot of blacking out. Bandwidth problem. I don't think so, no. Because it's saying here that the stream is healthy. So it's not a bandwidth problem. I mean, I'll have to check because when I did it early on, it didn't go out at all and it wasn't flashing at all. It only seemed to do it when I go live. So it may be something on YouTube's end. That's what I don't know. I am streaming in 4K, so that could be part of the problem. But my machine is only showing, what is it saying that I'm using? I'm using minimal resources. I'm just checking up here. I've still got 78% free, 82% free, so my machine's not even being used. So it's definitely not the machine, and so it's either a lead or it's a YouTube issue that I just don't know. It might be a 4K thing. Good Camera said, take your time. I love Rob said, the way this is flashing, it might introduce a seizure in someone. Has it been better since? Let me know if it's been better since. COVID-19 still slowing jobs down. Have my first photo shoot in 2022. Yep, Tom, exactly the same. I am really slow this year. I think it's probably going to be next year for me before weddings and everything picks up again. I think everyone has been really wary about booking things. Now, we're just opening up again here too. So I think it's probably going to be next year now before it really takes off again for me, but it is what it is. Unfortunate, but I agree, it was slow for me as well. Long Rider, it's my understanding Aussies don't drink Fosters. Yeah, we don't drink Fosters much, John. That's correct. I think that's more now overseas. I'm not sure what this... See, the thing with me is I like Corona, but I also love all these local brews as well. You know, like this one was James Squire. I love these, getting focus. I love these. It's nice. It's just called the 50 Lashes Pale Ale. It's beautiful. I love the sort of small breweries that bring out stuff, and they're really nice. Focus has gone haywire. It's all right now, I think. The focus is perfect as long as I take my glasses off. The good Chad said Foster's should do an update commercial showing the tyranny as Australia for democracy. Yeah, maybe. Next, no audio. I don't say that. John said it's stopped for now. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Stream's fine for me. I'm watching on my phone, so it looks okay. Quality is okay. They could show citizens being forced onto trains by military, and then the narrative says democracy. John said, hey, David, John from Bloomington, thinking about the Sony A7R III. It's a great camera, John. Camera working good now. That's good. What's the news with the 100-megapixel sensor? I'm going to bring that up in any seconds. Max, the GH6 looks really good. The only thing that worries me again is that they haven't changed the focus. I'd like to know how the focus is in video mode. I'm sure for stills it's going to be amazing. I'm still not convinced about the focus because they haven't gone to phase detection, which is a pity. I'm drinking a nice, what's that, Shanti? Ran out of fever beans and human liver, though. What does that mean? You're using the Mini for streaming. I'm using the ATM Mini Extreme, Chad. In my opinion, don't stream 4K, not needed. I typically just listen anyway. It just depends, Eli. I do like pushing the boundaries with everything I do, and so I like to produce video as good as I can. If there's going to be a few issues in the meantime, well, it's just the way it is. Look, I mean, I know some people watch this stream and enjoy the 4K. So, yeah. Mark said, no flickering here in the UK for about 7 minutes. Yeah, it seems to have gone okay. It could be an issue with YouTube. Chad said, picking up the A7 IV and the FX3 tomorrow. Woo, Chad. Fantastic. Lucky you. George said, hey, Chad, out of curiosity, why the two cameras are not just the one? All right, so let me just take out this rundown. Let me clear the pre-show, and let's go on to latest news. Let me click this off, and we'll go back to looking at some news. So let me bring over this. Did that flicker then? No, I think it's just down there. Let me go to social. So let's have a look. I wanted to bring this up because it was interesting rumour. I've sort of discussed this before, and it's sort of interesting because they keep coming back to this 100-megapixel rumour that's sort of coming out. So if we look at this, it's saying while rumours round up a 100-megapixel alpha, and they're also saying here that the A7Cr. Now, I'm not sure if they're relating the A7Cr to this 100-megapixel alpha, but we'll discuss that in a minute. And they're also saying an A9III and a 40-megapixel APS-C sensor as well. So there's a few rumours that are really interesting coming up this week in Sony Alpha rumours. And they're just saying about these rumours, I have no idea who sent them, and 90% of the times they turn out wrong. But it happened in the past, a couple of these were right. Now, it's saying here that the source number one said that there is an alpha with 100 megapixels, and they're saying 1/25th of a second, 10 frames per second at 14-bit. I'm not sure what they mean by 1/25th of a second. I don't understand what that means. 10 frames per second at 14-bit, though, would be pretty cool. But a 100-megapixel camera, I think this would be the A7, the next A7R camera that probably will be out. I don't think it would be the A7Cr. I think the A7Cr is going to be this next one, which is this 42-megapixel well, it's a 42.4 megapixel sensor, and they're saying it's a back illuminated CMOS sensor, low noise with ISO up to 204,800. Let me just blow this up so you can see it a bit better. 15 stops plus dynamic range, 8 times more powerful next generation Bionics XR, image processing engine, 759 selectable phase detection points covering about 90% of the image, next generation full frame 8K 24p 10-bit 422 chroma subsampling recording, up to 4K 60, 10-bit 422, Super 35, 5.2 full pixel readout in all formats, 8K oversampling, full frame 4K 30, 10-bit with no pixel binning, up to 10 frames per second continuous shooting. And it also says real-time tracking. Well, it's basically got all the latest tracking that you're seeing now in all the new Sony cameras that we're going to get all the time. S-Cinetone, S-Log3 HLG, 5-axis in-body stabilization, and active mode for handheld. Now, so the interesting thing here is that the top one, I think this 100-megapixel one would have to be the A7R 5. That's what I'm thinking it has to be. And I keep hearing rumours about that aspect. So perhaps Sony are going to jump right up with the A7R and go to 100 megapixels, and that might sort of compete with anything that Canon is going to be bringing out, etc. So I think that probably is going to be what the next A7R is. It looks like it may be around that sort of resolution now. The interesting one is that Source 2, because I think that this could potentially be what the Alpha A7Cr is. But I don't know if I believe those specs. I can't see them offering 8K in an A7RC. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, at the moment, the A7C is basically an A7 III upgraded with the flip-out screen and things like that, and although the EVF and stuff is a step backwards. But this would be a massive improvement. This is sort of like a mix between the A7S III, the A1 and the A7 IV, all in a mix. So I think I would be more surprised if these figures are true. I would think that an A7C, now the R usually means resolution. Now, it is a decent spec up because it's gone up to 42. But it's basically, I think the A7C is going to be similar to what the A7 IV is, and perhaps it might have a few extra features in video, perhaps, but I would be very surprised if you're going to get 8K in the A7C. I'm just a bit confused about the A7Cr. Are they saying that's going to be the 100-megapixel one? I'm not quite certain what these rumours are saying at the moment, but it's interesting anyway to see what it has. I would think if this 42.4 megapixel sensor with all of these things in there, it would be interesting to see if Sony do bring that out in an A7 CR. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. What do you think? I mean, I do think the A7C has to be updated. But I would think that if the A7C was going to be updated, it would have something very, very similar to the A7R4. The A7 IV. And I think that's more what it would be like. So I'm just curious to know what you guys think about this as well. The next one down is talking about Source 3. It's just semiconductors. I won't look into that at the moment. But they're saying Source 4 is saying, I have info on the A9III. Now, they're saying, and this could probably be true, they're saying that the A9III will have a 24-megapixel stack sensor, and I think that's probably correct. I think it will probably stay around that. I think if you're going to go up to that, you're going to have to go to an A1. So that would not surprise me at all. They're also saying 30 frames per second burst shooting, same as the A1. Again, I think that's probably correct. But they're saying it's going to have 6K 60p 12-bit RAW video, 10-bit 422 up to 60p full frame oversample from 6K, 4K 100 and 120 mode in Super 35 mode. So that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. And it'll be interesting to see. So they're not offering 8K in that. I think you've still got to go to the A1 to get 8K. That's why I'm a little bit confused about that last rumour with the 8K in the A7C R camera, what they were bringing up. Usually the R is for resolution, so I don't know why they would have added those video features in there. 4K 120 and 100 and 120p in Super 35 mode. I'm not certain they'll give you that. I think you may still have to go for the A7 S series cameras to get the 120p, but they might let you do it in Super 35 like they've said here. Shush, Siri. Siri, stop. Siri's talking to me from the back of the room. So I think I definitely agree. It probably will stay at 24, and I think that's ample for what sports shooters are using. Like I said, if they want more, they can go to the A1. 30 frames per second, I think that has to come in the next A9III. And also 6K 60p would be fantastic as well. So it's going to be interesting anyway to see what happens with that. So anyway, they're the rumours that are sort of showing there. Keep going with the chat, and I'll come back to the chat a little bit later so we can go through some of these rumours as well. This is really cool because if you look here, let me just move this over. Petapixel are saying that Sony sold... Let me just change this a little bit so I can open it up a little bit for you. Let me move it over a bit. And let me drag that left bit out. Okay. So it's saying here that Sony sold more mirrorless cameras than anyone else in 2021. And I think really, there was also another article I read where they were saying that they've had the continuous mirrorless sort of #1 for, I think, for the last 7 or 8 years, I think. But according to the data source from the MPD group, Sony claims it sold more, the most mirrorless cameras, sold the most full-frame mirrorless cameras, and had the best-selling mirrorless camera model, the Alpha A7 III. That camera is still selling amazing, and it probably will still sell amazing because it's so much cheaper than the A7 IV. And then it just goes through some details about that as well. They're just saying Sony released a batch of sales claims for both the United States and Canada based on data source from the MPD group. And this is good because this is the American results. Often I show the Japanese results, but this is the American results. So, you know, it's a pretty good effort. And I'm just saying here if it says anything else about it. Yeah, there you go. We're incredibly proud of the #1 overall share in full-frame mirrorless cameras in the US for 8 years in a row now. So they've done this for 8 years in a row. That is just so incredible, and good on you, Sony. Congratulations. What are they saying here about Canada as well? That also includes lenses as well. They're saying here, in Canada, the MPD group found that Sony was both the #1 selling full-frame mirrorless camera brand and mirrorless camera brand, full-frame or otherwise, in the region. And the Sony Alpha A7 III was the region's #1 selling full-frame interchangeable cameras. So I just wanted to share that because I thought that was just so amazing, and congratulations, Sony, on that. Now, this is cool. We're finally starting to see some other CF type A cards available by other suppliers. This one is Delkin devices, and it's a type A and UHS-2 SDXC memory card reader, and I think, see, it also is offering the cards as well. So they're offering the reader, which is $79, well, this is the US, I suppose, $79.99, and they're saying coming soon. So it's not available yet, but it'll be coming soon. And they're also showing that it has the Type A memory cards as well. Now, this is the 160 gigabyte one, and it's $349.99. I can't remember how that compares to the Sony CF Express cards because I haven't looked at those for so long, but it'll be interesting to get a cost comparison there. The other thing too is the more suppliers that have this, I think ProGrade were the other one now that are releasing CF Express A cards. So the more that we have, with competition with this, it might drive prices down. So I'm sure they're paying Sony a royalty for this because I think Sony owns that patent for this. But hopefully with the more competition that gets in, we'll get more and more cheaper prices. So I think that's terrific. And I just wanted to show that there as well. So that's coming soon. Also, I wanted to just sort of talk about this because I did download this just the other day. I paid for it. Lumina Neo has now been launched. I've just had a quick look at it, and it looks like it's pretty good. It might be something that I use from Photoshop to go into as a plugin, or Capture One to go into Lumina if I wanted to, say, get rid of power lines and things like that, or even dust spots, because it does have very, very good filters to get rid of that. And I'll show you a couple of things about this that I liked about it. They're showing here sky replacements. I don't really do that. I mean, I do occasionally do it if I want to make a really wow image and the sky is just completely flat and dull. I may then use it. But it's just showing sort of before and after with the sky. Although that's just saying there that it's had 1 click for exposure. So, oh no, it is sky replace, yeah. They're also showing here how you can have these 1-click sliders. It's called Accent AI, and you can have these 1-click sliders to sort of adjust your exposure. Declutter power lines, like I said, that I will use that definitely. I hate power lines coming through an image, and I do usually retouch them, and it's a very painstaking thing to retouch, and to have that in it and it works very quickly will be great. Yes, there is still some manual retouching to do, but if that saves me time on say when I'm doing the wedding retouching and things like that, it'll be great. So I'm dying to try that. 3D stuff that comes in. You can affect, like do portrait bokeh and things like that. And from what I've seen in the results so far, it looks pretty good. And like I said, I'll have to do full tests on these to sort of check it out to see how it is. You can see here how portrait exposure has worked, as long as you've got separation between your foreground and your background. So here, if you look at the model that's sitting on this rock at the front, it's completely blurred the background out. And it does look quite authentic. It's pretty good what they've done here. I mean, I actually like showing the background, but if you did want to sort of isolate that subject from the background, looks like it's very, very clever at doing it. Like I said, though, you will have to have separation, though, between the foreground and the background. What else is it showing? This is just sort of color effects and things like that. The relighting effect, which is not showing here, is brilliant. You can relight subjects very, very quickly, and it does use some voodoo magic to get that to work too. Like if you've underexposed a model, it will bring the lighting out with keeping the background, nice and dark. So that's terrific as well. So I did just want to mention that it has been released. I paid for this, so I'm not sponsored by them at all. And, I'll let you know how it is once I've used it a little bit. Next one I wanted to show you is this, because, oh my God, a basketball apparently hit this lens, the Sony 70-200, and you can see here the damage that it's done. So he must have been shooting a basketball game. Now, basketball hit the lens and the mount broke. Have any idea how to fix it without paying $900 to Sony for repair? Let us know, and I think you're going to have to get Sony to repair it. There's a few more photos. I've done this. I mean, I did this with my 55 not long ago. I dropped the camera and it did the exact same thing. It pulled out the area there as well. I have got that fixed now. But it just shows, doesn't it? You've got to be careful. So that's a basketball has caused that damage. And the last one I want to show you before we open up Q&A is this bullet shot. How amazing is the A1? If you look at this, it's captured the bullet that you can see right there. Let me just open this up. You can see that it's got it there. So he's probably shooting at, full 30 frames per second. And it's got the bullet coming out of this Olympic shooter's rifle. But that is unbelievable. Let me just see this, because I haven't read this. He's a sports photographer who's been covering the Beijing Olympic Games. He has captured at least 6 photos containing bullets leaving rifles being fired during the shooting portion. So he's done it 6 times. It said when Nikon's flagship Z9 can shoot at a staggering clip of 120 frames per second for 11 megapixel photos, the rival flagship Sony A1 is no slouch either, capturing 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter. That's amazing what the Z9 can do there, though. It's just saying here, when the Sony Alpha A1 came out, I got myself one as quickly as possible. And this is just the photographer here that you're looking at. Trial and error. So what was he saying he shot at? He's saying, figuring out the optimal settings for maximising the chance of catching the bullet was the main challenge. At first, I was shooting at 1/2000th of a second, as usual in daylight, but I only got nice smoke leaving the rifle. So he ended up shooting at 1/6400th of a second. It wasn't enough. So what did he end up using? Let me just see here. Look at these things. These are just incredible. What's that one? 1/6400th? Wow. Although I got some nice pictures with flying bullets, but we're not frozen, the photography continues. Shutter speeds from 1/12800th to 1/25,600th of a second gave me better results. But only at a shutter speed of 1/32,000th of a second did I get what I was looking for. And you can see the bullet here. It's actually right there. And again, this is the beauty of the A9 series and the A1 series. If you shoot in electronic shutter, you can go up to 1/32,000th of a second. And that just shows you the benefit of being able to do that. So you couldn't do this with a normal camera that hasn't got the ability to shoot 1/32,000th. And I love that. And also it gives you the ability to shoot in daylight with a wider open lens as well. But you can see there where you can see the smoke that's coming through here and the bullet's just in front of it. Again, you can see the bullet that's just there as well. So he's got a few of them that he's captured. That's one where the bullet is just coming out of the rifle. They're just fantastic. You can see there where the bullet's coming out of the rifle as well. I mean, what a camera, seriously. It's amazing. You can see here where they've captured them. This is obviously shooting at the 30 frames per second, and you can see the shots being done. You can actually see the bullet when they're coming out of there as well. Let me see if there's a couple of others. Wow, that's amazing. I just wanted to show you that anyway. Let me switch back to me. So let's open up Q&A. And then basically I'm going to have some lunch. I started late today because we had a few issues. Let me just go to rundown. I'm going to change this to Q&A. Take that off, put that up. Social. So fire away if you have any questions that you would like answered. Let me come down to where we were. Thank you so much for that donation, Long Rider. Really appreciate that. Let me keep coming down. Where were we? Right down here. Oh, this was what I asked John before as well. I guess you've never seen Silence of the Lambs. Shinji is something is pronounced Chianti, Italian. Oh, okay, Italian red wine. I have watched that movie, but I can't remember that, John. BJ said he just got his A7 IV from B&H this week. Congratulations, buddy. I'm really jealous. Jeff said, is your beard grey or is my colour balance off? Yeah, you need to calibrate your monitor, Jeff. You seriously need to fix that because it's blonde. Anyone sees this beard anything other than blonde, needs their monitor calibrated. George said, YouTube compression is a nightmare, so I don't blame you, David, for streaming 4K. Quality is so much better. Yeah, I think so too. Dedicated photo cam and video cam also. Oh, okay, he's answering the other question, why he got those two cameras. What does that mean, I'm gong? George said, oh no, they're talking to each other. John said, Rumour 2 only has enough megapixels for UHD. For 4K scene, you need 44.7 and up. R5, Alpha 1, and Z9, etc. Okay, John, thanks for that. That's interesting. Mike said, I'm going to skip the A1 and buy the A1 with 2 layer transistors. It's probably, you know what, I mean, I would love to get that too. And I think probably now if I had the money to sort of buy an A1, I might almost be tempted to wait for an A1 as well. Or an A2, whatever they want to call it. I'd sort of would be almost inclined to do the same thing as well. I'm wondering when that will be updated. Probably next year though, I think. I'm not sure yet. Hertz said, not convinced of any of these rumours. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced either. I do believe that you will definitely get a new A7R sometime this year. The A7C, I do believe that will be updated as well. The A7S, I think, will be next year or the year after. The A9, I think, probably will be updated this year as well. And I do believe there'll be another APS-C camera that will be coming out as well. So I do think that probably will be happening as well. Rob said, it sounds like comparing the A7C to the rumoured A7Cr is a similar upgrade as if you compare the A7 III and the A7R3. A7C would be a consumer version of the A7Cr. The A7Cr would be a high-res version. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do, though, with that. Terry said, all good now. I think he's talking about the flickering. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? John said, didn't Sony Rumours say these rumours are unsubstantiated? Yeah, they did. Nonaz said A7Cr, no, but the A7, what's that, 5 maybe? A7R5 maybe, I think you're saying. You'd then have the A7 4 cameras at 32 megapixels and 42.5 megapixels, essentially in the same space. Yeah, good point. Mike said, why are capabilities on the type of card so slow? 160 gigabytes in today's world. I'm not sure why they don't up that, to be honest, Mike. Yeah, I agree. I think the Sony ones I have are 180, aren't they? I can't remember. I've got them in the other room. There might be 160 as well. They could be. I cannot use my A7 IV on my photo shoot this weekend. Flash sync terminal adapter won't trigger my portrait lighting. Oh, that's interesting. Angel Bird 512 gigabyte AV Pro CF Express 2 Type BSE memory card 179. I know we are paying a premium, Mike. I agree, for the Type A cards, and hopefully that will come down. They are very expensive. I agree completely. Better check the camera's mount for damage too. Yeah, true. When I broke the 55, luckily it was only the mount on the camera. I'd prefer that to break, basically, than the camera mount. I can't remember what it cost me to fix. I think it was about $200 or something. It wasn't too bad, but that was only the 55, though. Those bullets images are sick. I know. How great were they? It was so good. Rob said, I wonder how the time lag in NEO is. I tried Luma and it was very resource intensive. I would get the Apple spinning beach ball of doom almost every adjustment. Wow, I'll have to check that, Rob. It'll be interesting to see how it goes on the new MacBook Pros. So I'll have to let people know when I've used it. The line is, I had a friend for dinner. I served his liver with some fava beans and nice shanty. Oh, okay. So that was there. I don't remember that at all. That's another one. Oh, you guys, honestly. The hardest shot I heard of was with a telephoto lens on a Cameron 217 with a solar eclipse with the space station crossing. Yeah, I saw that. It was brilliant. The sun, 170,000 miles away. Very hard shot. Yeah, I did see that. It was great. Oh, no. Is it flickering again? Oh, where have I gone? I've disappeared. Let me see if I can fix it. Uh-oh. 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 Well, that's not good. I think a lead has completely failed. Let me just see. Let me try. I'll go to the back of the computer and see. Oh, let me see if it's this side. No, I think I've got a lead that's failed. Let me try the back of the thing. Otherwise, we might have to call it a day. No, it's gone. Well, I think I've got a failed lead, guys. So we might just call it a day. Let me bring up this and hopefully I can fix all this before next week. So who knows what on earth's going on. I'm going to have to do some trial and error. I love it. Ike's here too. So, yeah, sorry, guys, because we've got this black screen. So anyway, thanks for joining. Really appreciate you popping in. Let me just see if I can bring this all back. Where's that gone now? Yeah, it's completely gone. I don't know what's going on with it. It's it's spat the dummy. All right, guys.